I believe that the U.S. is a force for good in the world, and that it's important that we stand up with people who seek freedom and democracy, and that we provide the necessary moral support needed. When it comes to military issues, I think that every case, of course, must be assessed individually, and we must be careful before treading forward. However, we have to recognize that the United States is a world superpower, and with that power comes a certain level of responsibility. Responsibility, I believe, to help on humanitarian crises, responsibility to help out militarily when asked, and also for intelligence support. So I think it's really vital that we stand up with democratic movements wherever they may be. Now, where I disagree with the president is how he handled these, the uprisings in the Middle East from the get-go. I think it is vital that in 2009, when the students rose up in Iran, that he should have gotten behind them and said, "We stand with these freedom fighters and students who are looking for more and greater freedoms." And I think it's important that in Egypt, he stand up with the democratic forces and say that we stand behind Egypt, and not vacillate so much on whether or not Mubarak was up in the polls or down in the polls. So it is absolutely vital that while we take every situation on a case-by-case basis, that we understand that where freedom and democracy rears its head, we have to be there. And where freedom and democracy stands up against oppression and totalitarian rule, we have to be there. And we got to be there with moral support first and foremost, standing on our common principles. We then can assess other options such as no-fly zones, humanitarian aid, and so forth. And everything should be on the table for that matter. But first and foremost, if I were in his shoes, I would let them know that America stands with you, that we are here to do anything we can to help and support you. Now, going to the next phase, it is crucial that we know who these individuals are, that we get better intelligence going forward about what the Muslim Brotherhood is about, or what some of these other rebels are about, whether they really stand with the United States and with democracy, or if they're just opportunists trying to get the best out of this opportunity. So, that comes down to having better intelligence capability, and that's the thing else we have to work on. So I do support what the president is doing now, but I think he should have handled it much differently in the future and should be planning accordingly in the event something else like this will arise.